into the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Welcome to Top Shelf Tuesday, a very busy day for us today. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you'll join us in the chat, all that good stuff. We're looking forward to hearing from you, but a ton to get to today. We have we have one name confirmed on the Hawks coaching search in Todd Reardon. We had another high-profile coach fired by the Bruins yesterday in Bruce Cassidy. We have the passing of a Blackhawks legend. We've got our Top Shelf Tuesday topic, which is it time to move on from Chelsea Dagger? Oh, and yeah, we have a new Western Conference champion to discuss as well. So let's get right to it. Let's start with the sad news of the day. Eric Nestorenko passes away at the age of 88. We had heard a little bit of buzz about this a couple days ago, but didn't want to really address it until we knew for sure. And once the Blackhawks made it official, now is the time to talk about it. And I never got to see Eric Nestorenko play. He was a member of the 61 championship team, played 16 years with the Hawks. If you want to learn about Eric Nestorenko, read Bob Verdi's piece on the Blackhawks website. It really kind of details the kind of man he was, and especially in the era he played. Eric Nestorenko was a different kind of a guy, a deep thinker, really, for the time, very educated. He enrolled in the University of Toronto while playing with the Blackhawks, and they allowed him to commute to classes and back when he could. So just a really interesting guy. And for hockey fans of my age, I'm 44, 44 and a half, technically.
Very important.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, especially at your age. It's very important.
I remember Eric Nestorenko as the dad on the movie Youngblood. And that was kind of my introduction. I watched that with some friends. Like, oh, yeah, that guy used to play for the Hawks. And I started doing some research on him. And, 16 years with the Blackhawks. And, not a flashy player, not a guy who's going to be high profile in terms of scoring and things like that. But just a guy who had the utmost respect of his teammates and of fans. And it's another Hawks legend gone.
Yeah, another connection to the past we've lost. You think about he's only one of 7 Blackhawks to play 1,000 games for the team. And they acquired him in 1956 with goaltender Harry Lemley for cash. That turned out to be pretty good. I mean, he played 16 seasons with the Hawks after 5 seasons with the Maple Leafs, and then added a last season in Chicago with the Cougars, the WHA team. So he played 22 consecutive seasons of professional hockey in a time where that's like unheard of. Mm-hmm. Like that was, he played in the 50s and 60s and 70s when the game was brutal.
It was basically Stanley Cup playoff rules just all the time.
Right. Like there was slashing and elbows and no helmet. Like just crazy to think that he played for that many seasons. I just have one story. My parents were huge Hawks fans. They had season tickets the first few years they were married. They went to games on dates, and my mom always tells the story. She reminded me of it yesterday. They were coming back, I believe, from clinching, going to the Stanley Cup final in 1971. And they went down with a bunch of fans to the airport to welcome them back. That was back when you can go like right up to the gate. And they were coming off the plane, and people were cheering for them. And they were signing autographs, and the only thing my dad had on him was a pay stub. So he was giving it to, all the different players, and then he gives it to Nestorenko, and Nestorenko flips it over to see like what my dad was pulling in that week. And my dad's like, "What the hell, man? Just sign it." So he was a character. He was that kind of guy. But he had to give my dad's paycheck the once over to make sure he was getting taken care of. So that's my Eric Nestorenko story.
Yeah, so he, along with Youngblood, he worked as a disc jockey, a stockbroker, a travel broker, a freelance writer, a university professor, and a ski instructor.
That was all in one offseason.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. But truly a Renaissance man. And I don't know if Studs Terkel is a very famous Chicago writer. He wrote a book called Working, What People Do All Day and How They Feel About What They Do. It's a book I own and a book I read. And Eric Nestorenko does a little piece in there, and it is excerpted, right? Excerpted in the Bob Verdi piece on the Blackhawks website. So make sure you check that out. Yeah. Just a really interesting guy. And Drive Secure here in the chat says, I think they called him Elbows. Yes, Elbows was one of his many nicknames. Elbows or Swoop was another one, and they called him the Flin Flon Flash. as he was from Flin Flon, Manitoba, parents of Ukrainian immigrants.
Wow.
So really interesting guy.
Seems like playing professional hockey was his hobby.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, right.
Right. And especially when you consider the era in which he played. I think we're seeing now, athletes in general have a little more variety in their extracurriculars, right? Like some are founders of nonprofits or whatever. When Eric Nestorenko played, this was not the norm. He is a very unique character for his era, and I think that's part of why he has kind of remained a name in Blackhawks lore, because he's been such an interesting character and such a different guy for the era he played in. So it's another Hawks legend gone, and rest in peace, Eric Nestorenko. It's one of those names that's always just kind of been there throughout Hawks history. You'd always hear it, like here and there, sprinkled into history. When you would hear facts about the legends, Nestorenko's name was always kind of there with them.
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I'm more of a newer generation of fan, but always knew of the name Eric Nestorenko and where where he sat in the history of the Blackhawks. And I mean, I know Jay, you already said it, but like Bob Verdi's piece, like that just opens up a whole nother door of information and just insight to who he was, not only as a player but also off the ice, and what he meant to the Blackhawks franchise and the history of the team. So, again, I'd go check it out. Leave it to Bob Verdi to have probably the best things to say about any Blackhawk player from that era, especially. But it's sad to have a legend of the team pass away. And I mean, hey, 88. That's a very long, fruitful
good
life.
run.
We should all be blessed to live a life as full as Eric Nestorenko did.
exactly.
So,
Absolutely.
condolences to the Nestorenko family, his friends, extended family, the Blackhawks family. I'm sure there's a lot of people hurting a little bit for this, because he definitely made an impact on a lot of people's lives. So we're sending our condolences to anybody that's feeling a little down from this.
Absolutely. Well, let's move on from Eric Nestorenko. Once again, rest in peace, Eric Nestorenko. We've got the first. We know that the Hawks reached out to Barry Trotz. I was told that by several sources. Have not heard much about that since. I don't know if it's happened. If it hasn't happened, we don't know. But Elliot Friedman on the 32 Thoughts podcast dropped the name Todd Reardon, currently an assistant with the Pittsburgh Penguins, was the former head coach of the Washington Capitals from 2018 through 2020. Some decent seasons, some early exits in the playoffs, which probably led to his dismissal. But we're starting to see, an indication of what Kyle Davidson might be looking for. It's not necessarily going to be some young, and I hate to say the name Jeremy Colleton, but some young, inexperienced, let's see the next guy ready to make the step to the NHL. Yeah. He might be looking at people with a little more experience of head coaching.
Yeah, one of the things that Kyle Davidson mentioned at the little front office introduction press conference that they had was the importance of having a coach that has a presence. And when we had interim head coach Derek King on the show, he said that he admitted I don't really have that kind of presence in the locker room that coaches that he had played for had. And so I think that's an important thing to have for a team that's likely going to be young, going to be rebuilding, is to have a coach that you can look at and be like, hey, I trust this guy's experience. It trust this person's abilities, track record, whatever it is. That all plays into the buy-in of things. So, yeah, I think this is one of the first coaches that has been mentioned as being on the market in the coaching search, on the Blackhawks radar that actually kind of you can connect a little bit of the dots. Because with Trotz, it was just like, yeah, that'd be great, but I don't think he has any interest of coming to Chicago. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a maybe thing. But Reardon's probably looking to get back to head coaching, and Chicago is one of the many teams that has an opening for him to potentially do that. So it's interesting to see that this is the first kind of name that makes a little bit of sense being on the radar.
Yeah, and he had 2 good years with the Caps. Granted, he inherited the reigning Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah,
when
that helps.
Trotz
Pretty
left.
good roster.
Yeah, so it wasn't like he had to deal with a rebuilding roster, but he had 104 points, 90 points in his 2 seasons, back-to-back division titles, a .642 points percentage in his 2 seasons. The problem there was they got bounced in the first round both of those seasons. I don't count that play-in round stuff from the bubble. 2 first-round exits after the Cup. That was probably his biggest downfall, but here's something that, he's a name. Okay, yeah, you saw he had regular season success with the Caps, but why should the Blackhawks hire him? Well, here's something that jumps off the page. You spent this past season as an assistant with the Pittsburgh Penguins, was in charge of their defense. Let's see. Oh, the Penguins gave up the 5th fewest goals in the entire NHL, and let's not pretend that they were doing it with an Andrei Vasilevsky or an Igor Shesterkin in goal. They had Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith. Not awful goaltenders, but not all-stars by any means.
Yeah.
So they play good team defense.
And they're, sorry to interrupt you, Greg, their defensemen aren't really like a bunch of Victor Hedmans either.
Right. You got an aging Chris Letang, who's not what he was.
Michael Matheson, John Marino, Brian Dumoulin, Marcus Pedersen, Chad Ruhwedel, Mark Friedman, Nathan Bilou.
Yeah, I don't know who half those guys are.
I mean,
and I watched an entire series of Penguins Rangers. So yeah, not exactly doing it with big names, household names, getting the most out of a team. So that's attractive to me. That tells me that he knows how to handle defensemen. He knows how to get his entire team to play defense. So as we're starting to build a list of potential candidates, this is a guy that's on there, and I definitely think they should, pursue it a bit. I'm not saying he's the guy, but those defensive numbers right there jump off the page, and that's exactly what the Blackhawks need.
Apparently, I was spelling his name like the former Minnesota Twins closer, Jeff Reardon.
Montreal Expos before the All-Star with the Expos.
Sorry about that, Todd.
That's all right.
I got Todd right, though.
There you go.
Good job.
You got Todd.
You didn't do TAHD.
You didn't put Todd Rundgren up there. So
that would have been a callback. Yeah.
Jason in the chat says, wasn't Reardon under Trotz as an assistant, and could that inform their feeling on Trotz to some degree? He was an assistant under Barry Trotz. So it's, again, we don't know much, but I think as we start to get these names leaking out about who the Hawks want to talk to, all we're trying to do is draw a map to what they're potentially looking for.
Right.
And so far we know Trotz, so far we know Reardon, and yesterday the Boston Bruins, sort of surprisingly, fired their head coach, Bruce Cassidy.
Very surprisingly.
Yeah, and usually whenever something like that happens, I like to jump on Twitter and see the fan reaction, and the vast majority of them were pissed and or shocked that this happened.
Yeah, I when you have a coach that has made the playoffs 6 straight years in his first 6 years as a head coach, and then you just say, fired, it's like you really are taken aback by it. You don't see that coming, but it might be a domino that is falling in a path for the Bruins to maybe make a lot of changes. I mean, we don't know what the future of Patrice Bergeron looks like. They lost David Krejci recently. It's kind of maybe a spot for the Bruins to start some turnover.
Yeah, this could be them doing what he who shall not be named refused to do and say, you know what, this is a good jumping off point. Maybe this is where we start over. We don't know what's happened to Bergeron. Who knows if this has anything to do with if he's coming back or not. But he's may not be there. Brad Marchand's not getting any younger. Still a great player, but maybe this is where you cash in. David Pasternak's name is being thrown out there in all kinds of rumors. If you're going to start a rebuild, getting maximum return for David Pasternak's a really good place to start.
Yeah.
That can get you a lot. Bruce Cassidy, really good coach. And yes, former Blackhawk, played a defenseman with the Hawks. So there's a connection there. 6 seasons, a .672 points percentage, made the Stanley Cup final in 2019. Unfortunately, they lost to those stinking Blues. Nice going, Bruce. Never missed the playoffs in his run, was the Jack Adams Award winner for Best Coach of the Year in 2020. You can easily say that he had some of those Bruins teams, especially the last couple seasons, overachieve.
Oh yeah,
Like they were very top heavy teams. That
Yeah.
top line is fantastic. They've got 3 or 4 quality defensemen, but they went through the whole Tuukka Rask thing. Is he going to play? He left. Blah, all this stuff. Tried to come back. Didn't really seem to affect them that much. They've lost some great players. You mentioned David Krejci, Zdeno Chara. Their captain was there for years. He's gone, but they just kept. They were always there. Every year you were like, this is the year the Bruins don't do
Bruins
it. And
fall
there they
apart.
are. There they
Yeah,
are, 3 points out of first place with 2 weeks to go in the season. I don't know if Bruce Cassidy is a guy that would want to come to the Blackhawks, but man, if he did, I'm welcoming him here with open arms because he's a guy that performs well, gets his teams in the playoffs, but he's also worked well with young players. You look at some of those Bruins teams, guys like Charlie McAvoy has developed into a really good top defenseman under his watch. He's a former NHL defenseman. You get guys they've been able to develop. They've been one of those few teams that have been able to kind of retool on the fly. That's very hard to do. The Blackhawks tried to do it and it's failed miserably.
did not work.
But here's the difference: the Bruins were able to actually draft and develop players. So, part of that development came with Cassidy because he was their AHL coach before he got that gig
For
too.
a long time,
So he had some of these young guys. He was part of that pipeline at the AHL level. So I think he's proven that he can develop players and win at the NHL level at the same time, and that's kind of what you want. I don't know if he's going to want this Hawks job. I don't think his how many career games did he have here? 50, 40 something? I don't think that's a strong enough tie-in to go, I'm coming home, baby.
yes,
But
not a lot.
no, yeah, he was kind of that guy that everybody else is hurt. Call Cassidy, get him up here for a few games.
Listen,
With teams like Detroit and Vegas who are ready to win right now, looking for coaches, those might seem more attractive, or maybe he wants to come to another Original Six team where he gets a chance to hey, I can be a part of something that rebuilds. But
Put a real stamp on it.
yeah, but I obviously he should be on whatever interview list Kyle Davidson's putting together. Bruce Cassidy needs to be on that list to at least pick his brain.
Here's a pretty cool stat. This is from Tucker Boynton on Twitter. In NHL history, there are 112 head coaches who have coached at least 6+ seasons. 3 out of those 112 have had 6 consecutive years with a .650 points percentage. That's a 107-point pace in an 82-game season. So 6 consecutive years of a 107-point pace. Scotty Bowman in Montreal from 1975 to 1980.
He's all right.
Glenn Sather in Edmonton from 1982 to 87.
He had some help there.
Bruce Cassidy from Boston, 2017 to 2022. That is the list.
Wow, that is impressive.
That's pretty good. And and Bruce Cassidy did it without the likes of Wayne Gretzky in his
Wayne
prime,
Gretzky
or Guy Lafleur,
or
and
multiple Hall of Famers.
The roster full of Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
So to me, that's even more impressive.
Yeah.
So that's a guy that should be
In a much more competitive NHL.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a guy that should be definitely on the list. Who knows what happens? I don't see it happening, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
wouldn't be mad if it did.
And now it's another coach on the market for Chicago to maybe have interest in, but now it's another team on the market looking for a head coach. So as we get to, we're a month away from the time where the Blackhawks have said we want to have a coach in place by July. We got to get moving.
Gotta get
It's
moving on
time to
this.
make a move here. Yeah.
So Bruce Cassidy has been coaching in some capacity since 1996. Head coach of the ECHL Jacksonville Lizard Kings for 2 seasons.
Yes.
Is Jim Morrison on the jersey? Because if he is, I'm buying it.
Head coach of the Indianapolis Ice from 98 to 99
Another
in the
Hawks connection.
IHL.
Solid.
Yep. The Trenton Titans in 1999-2000. 2 years as the Grand Rapids Griffins head coach from 2000 to 2002. Capitals head coach 02 to 04. Blackhawks assistant 05-06. Kingston Frontenacs 2 years in the OHL. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is this? 7 years as the head coach of the Providence Bruins. Then the Boston Bruins as an assistant, then head. So this dude has been coaching hockey
around
for a long time.
Coachy McCoacherton.
And when you talk about development, ECHL, IHL, AHL, OHL, this guy knows his way. Okay, I'm going to rephrase this. This guy knows how to coach young players. I was going to say he knows his way
No
around
Jim
young
Morrison
men,
on
and
the
that's
jersey.
probably not the right thing to say.
No Jim Morrison on the jersey, but give me that.
That is pretty cool.
I will pay for one. Those are awesome. The colors.
Are those current?
I don't think
Yeah,
they're a team
I believe
anymore.
this is 96.
Yeah, I don't
okay.
think
Wow.
they're a team, but that's beautiful right there.
Yeah, we got a
There
picture
are some
of the
other
Lizard
ones.
Kings,
Put that in the Art Institute right
uniform
now.
concept here on the
Yeah.
on
Oh
for
my
the audio
goodness.
version.
Yeah, we won't be doing what you're about to pull up.
I would wear that.
Wow,
That's
I
a
would wear
look.
that. I could pull that off.
that has to glow in the dark, right?
Wow. All right, Jacksonville Lizard Kings.
But wait, hold on. Is that number 17 on the left there? Is that Kachuk? Is that possible that there's a Kachuk on
Can
that
you
team?
zoom in on our screen? Maybe we can.
yeah,
we
let's
can do
try
a
that.
little.
Yeah, let's do that.
Do a little. It definitely ends in a CHUK.
Nope, that's
No.
an RCH. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was not a
Okay,
Kachuk.
well,
Some other random Chuck.
Anyways,
Can never have too many
You're a Chuck
Chucks
there, a Chuck
in,
everywhere.
uh,
Chuck.
Kachuk.
Yes. How many
Chuck
how
Norris.
many goals can a Chuck if a Chuck could Chuck goals? I don't know.
I like
Exactly.
it. I like it. Hey, for more hot stuff like that, you got to support us here at CHGO. And the best way to do that is to download the PointsBet app and use the code CHGO when you sign up. Do that right now and you're going to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership. That unlocks all of our great web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's 2 G's and free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making a $50 or more first-time deposit at PointsBet. Any questions on that, send an email to pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll get you squared away. It's your home for live in-play betting, and it just got even better. Introducing live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA same-game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game, and if you want more, you can always boost your live same-game parlays. Watch live, parlay live, and boost live with PointsBet. And remember, you can sign up right now in Illinois from your phone, start to finish. You're done very, very fast, and you're placing your first wagers and your parlays and everything in the matter of minutes. So do it. What are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Do it! Wow, that was aggressive.
Do it. It caught me off guard. I cashed in some bets last night. Had Connor McDavid anytime goal scorer, easy money.
Nice.
Kale
That is easy
McCarr
money.
anytime goal scorer, easy money. I did not though have Kale McCarr having a 5-point game. That would have been that might have doubled my current bank, which is it's low.
And we appreciate the comments from Dan, Patrick Sharp's younger brother, there in the comments for the best hockey
Thank
show
you,
in
Dan.
Chicago.
Appreciate it.
That's a true story. I believe it.
It's a good way
I agree.
to support us through PointsBet. Love the support in the chat. Another good way to support CHGO and the CHGO Blackhawks podcast, all of our podcasts, and to support yourself is to get yourself some Athletic Greens and their AG1 product. It is formulated to improve your gut health, optimize your immune system, and give you more natural energy. In just 1 scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. And if you have different eating dietary restrictions for any reason, whether it's gluten-free, dairy-free, keto, whatever it is, with AG1, you're good to go. It's easy to incorporate into your life no matter how busy you might be, a small once-a-day habit with big benefits. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks. That's athleticgreens.com/CHGO Blackhawks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, it is time for Top Shelf Tuesday, but I want to clarify something real quick. Dan in the chat says, was Bruce Cassidy an assistant when all the Kyle Beach stuff went down? No, he was an assistant from 05 and the 05-06 season. Kyle Beach drafted in 2008. So Bruce Cassidy was not part of the organization when that happened. So there you go. All right, so our Top Shelf Tuesday topic, kind of, I don't know, we were just discussing things after the show yesterday, and it came up, is it time to move on from Chelsea Dagger as a goal song for the Blackhawks? Because
it's been something I think that's been floated out there a little bit, but
and it's, it's a shifting era. It's all that sort of thing. So,
But apparently, it is one of the most divisive topics that we
Seriously.
could have brought up.
I'm looking right now at our poll on Twitter
Yeah.
at CHGO_Blackhawks. Follow if you haven't already. We have 960 votes.
Yep.
And it is 50-50 right
Yeah,
now.
so
Yes or
here's
no?
the deal. It is about to be 961 because I haven't voted yet on the
a
screen
live
here.
vote.
Do it.
And let's just make
got?
sure I have this published. Okay. So I'm going to vote yes.
Attaboy,
is
Lou.
ready.
Oh, so
50 and a
now,
half.
and that's
50 and a half
50 and a half.
percent.
There you go.
Lawrence, the deciding vote. Welcome to the dark side.
That is correct.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be this split, and I also wasn't expecting
Very
it to be
divisive.
this like
Passionate.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a song that is synonymous with the cup runs. It was in the heads of the opponents in the playoffs. That.
Some spicy replies in here, by the way.
Oh yes, of course, yes. There's someone calling for a demonic song apparently.
Ghost.
From the pinnacle to the
pinnacle
pit.
to the pit. That's appropriate song for the last few seasons.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
it's not very catchy. It's a good song. I'm a fan of the band, but you can't really sing along to that.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think for me, hitting my microphone. For me, I think it was amazing for that run. But I the Blackhawks are kind of closing the 1-goal era, and if the door's not already shut, it's just a little bit left open with guys like Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews still hanging around. So I think I'm beyond it. I have no problem with it. I still like, hey, goal song, cool, but it just doesn't do the same thing that it used to for me, 10 years ago, and people love it. Obviously, if you go through our match, people
49.5% of
really
Blackhawks fans
are
still love it.
defending keeping the song around.
Yes,
and
we are apparently idiots for even
yeah,
suggesting.
we're trash
that.
people
Yeah.
for saying
I am-
putting up the question.
Breaking news. I've known that for a long time. It's got nothing to do with Chelsea Dagger.
I'm really surprised that people were that emotional about it. I thought we would get a bunch of yes, change it, or I couldn't really care less either way. There are a lot of people that love that song, and I guess, maybe a follow. I don't know how you could even do this on Twitter, but like, what is your age? How long have you been a Hawks fan? Like, because if that is like the anthem of your fandom, of course you don't want that to go away.
It's a special song, represents a special time, and I think a lot of the people that have been the passionate, no, you can't change it, are the ones that became diehard fans during that run, and that makes perfect sense to me. I'll preface this: I don't care one way or the other. I really don't. It makes no difference because it is what it is. It's a goal song. It's not a pressing issue for me. I would prefer they move on to something else, just for the fact that, hey, that represented. You want to rebuild, you want to reimage, you want to rebrand, whatever reword you want to use for this, what's coming up, then maybe give this team its own identity by letting them have their own song. Let the players pick what song they want.
Yeah, like walk-up music.
Yeah.
Now there's a concept.
I mean,
Every
I like-
player
I
has
like
a
that
goal
also.
song.
I love that idea. They kind of sort of used to do that. They used to play Rocky Like a Hurricane when Kane scored. Patrick Sharp had Sharp Dressed Man. Johnny Be Good. Let the player pick their own goal song, or let the team as a whole pick one song for the whole season.
This is the song of the year.
Song of the season. Yeah.
A song
I'm
that
fine with
makes
too.
them like happy they scored. Somebody put in my replies like, "Oh, other teams hate it. How can you keep?" Nobody hates that song
they don't.
anymore. Nobody, no team is going, "Oh no, we got to hear that song once with 4 minutes to go in regulation."
That's the problem
Oh no,
is-
we're only going to win 5-1 instead of 5-0 tonight. It used to piss off the Vancouver Canucks when they would hear it 8 times a night in a playoff game. Those days are over. It's time
You're
to
not
move
hearing
on.
it as much as you used to.
Let that era of Blackhawks hockey, the golden era of Blackhawks hockey, just let's let it be what it is and have its own thing. Let this team pick its own identity going forward. You can. There's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of fun songs out there you can do, but
It's Raining Men.
I take it.
My song.
Nothing gets a hockey crowd going. Then it's
You know?
freaking-
You know what I'd like to hear when the Hawks score a goal? Do you know?
I don't.
Train.
Train. That's all you really need.
Yeah, that's really it.
Maybe some Frank Pellico.
I love. I don't know if the Buffalo Sabres still do it, but I love that the Sabres used to play "Let Me Clear My
Yeah.
Throat."
Oh, yeah.
That's good. There's a lot
I
of really
like
good
that one.
songs out there. Like I'm a big fan of Bro Hymn, but the Ducks have been using it for years. I mean, but I've loved that song for years. I'm a big Pennywise punk rock guy.
I don't know what Fall Out Boy is. I mean, I know what Fall Out Boy is, but I don't like Fall Out Boy. So what is Light 'Em Up? Is that
That
Ice?
was
That's the song about lighting the Muppets on fire.
Yeah,
light 'em up.
Light 'em up.
Light 'Em Up
Yeah.
and on fire.
It was like the
boy.
theme song of the Stanley Cup playoffs a few years
Oh
ago.
yeah. Oh god, yeah, that's a terrible song.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
use it
no,
a lot.
I'll
No,
pass.
Nate.
I'll
Sorry,
pass on
Nate.
that song.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
I think I really do like the idea of letting the players pick their own songs. I think the Sabres did that this past season, if I remember seeing something online
Baseball
correctly.
teams have walk-up music.
Yeah,
and fans
walk-up
love
music,
that.
yeah.
So let the guys
Let the guys show some personality.
exactly, especially on a team that you're trying to find, image. You need stories. You need reasons for fans to care about these guys for the next 3
Yeah.
seasons. Hey, this guy picked, a Neil Diamond song. Why the hell did he pick that? Let's find out.
Well,
give us some personality.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like just hockey wide, the league has a personality problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Its highest profile players are boring as hell. And then the ones that are outspoken get shunned for it.
Right.
Like PK Subban. So I think just having some sort of why Nicholas Hjalmarsson back in the day was like a big EDM guy. Like explain.
Yeah, let's
Well,
get some of that going.
It is a
that?
push button piece for the Blackhawks website to publish. Like, why is this your song?
Yeah, there's
know,
20
they do-
YouTube videos that you can release throughout the season. Why
Yeah,
is this your goal
exactly.
song?
Yeah.
You get to know these guys.
Right.
They do those pieces like, why'd you choose this number? And half of them are like, oh, they just gave it to me.
That's what I was given to.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That would be the problem with asking the players.
But
to pick
my
the
solution
song.
to that is to make people happy. Players have the option to pick their own goal song. If you don't want to just choose your own goal song, then it's Chelsea Dagger, right? Like, is that okay?
Or whatever
No.
the team picks as their
Yeah.
as the goal.
Or
song.
that, yeah, whatever you do.
I can't-
let the team be in
I
charge.
can't get my brain around the fact that players don't care about their number and wouldn't care about their song.
It drives me insane.
Like, how do you not have a thought on that? Like, I don't know. I wear number 48 because it was on the rack when I got here. Like, no,
They gave
it'd be
me-
like one of the first things I'd be
They
worried
gave
about.
me 70. They gave me 73 in training camp, and I just kept it.
No,
What?
get a good number.
Well, then you're lame.
Yeah,
right.
like that.
You are a boring, lame person.
One of the biggest things that annoys me about the NHL video game series, and there's many of them, is that when you do a be a pro, you can't choose your number, and that pisses me off so much because I get like 12 and I can't change it. I'm like, I
what's
have
wrong with
no
12?
affinity to it.
I love 12.
Well, I don't. Well, you love it, Aaron.
12 was a
Rodgers,
hockey number. Like great number 12s.
Alex DeBrincat,
Alex
my
Alex
friend.
DeBrincat,
Yeah.
Jerome McGinley.
Brent Sutter.
Yes, Brent Sutter.
Most Sutters feel like they were 12s. Like that's kind of the number 12 fits like a Sutter type of guy,
That's not me.
right?
Not me.
Did Adam Oates wear 12? I know he was
Yeah,
77
I think-
a lot.
I think maybe he was
But I think
12.
Adam Oates wore number 12 somewhere.
That seems about right.
To the internet.
I'm going to the internet right
To
now.
the internet.
How about what Nate says? Every time the Hawks score, it's just a recording of the 300 section yelling "shoot."
No, they should play that, and then they should have the crowd go, "Told ya," because if they score, it worked.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Adam Oates did wear 12 for Detroit, for St. Louis, and for Boston.
Oh, jeez, that's not.
I got something
that's
for that.
Not a
whole-
great
But
trio.
I get to pick my softball coach number every year.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's right.
And it is a big
that Jeremy
decision for me
Piven?
every year.
It is.
Wow, what am I going to go with?
Yeah.
And if I had to pick my goal song, that would be like a week-long project.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we talked about this last night. Like before we left after yesterday's show, we came up with this topic. We're like, what would be my goal song? And I still have no idea. It's too much to choose from.
No.
Yeah.
There's.
You'd pick Drops of Jupiter.
This is why I don't have a tattoo, because I feel like to get a tattoo, it has to be a perfect like symbolism of
That's-
everything I
that's
represent.
Why you get like dozens of
Yeah, I'm
them.
supposed to get. Everyone's like, just get a hot dog on your arm, and then it won't be so important to you, and you can get whatever you want. Which is a good point. But picking a goal song would be very similar. Like, how do I perfectly summarize how I feel?
Yeah.
I mean,
You
if
know.
Hot Dogs was still open, you should definitely get the
There you
Hot
go.
Dogs logo. Then you would have gotten a free.
Oh, there you go. That's like
you get a Wiener
NIL,
circle,
right?
Wiener circle
Yes,
tattoo.
an NIL.
There you go.
I just don't know where you'd get it.
I
But
think I'd get a Super Dog as opposed to Wiener Circle.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we don't-
Attaboy. Yeah.
I do like
Super
Superdog as well. Yeah.
That's my neck of the woods right there.
There you go.
Anyways.
No,
other-
it is such an interesting. I just could not believe
If you could choose
how
one,
split it was.
if you could choose one for the Blackhawks, not for yourself, but for the Blackhawks, if you would choose one, what would it be?
I've been thinking about this,
Yeah.
and I always think back to when they used Red Rising as their slogan, which was real fitting at the time. It was the rebuild. They were on the way up, and then that turned into one goal. Whatever it is, should be something about youth or
Youth Gone Wild.
Youth Gone Wild.
There.
But that,
We're the kids in America.
to me, that's awesome. But but to these guys, be like, who is Skid Row?
Yeah.
What is this?
Right, yeah.
Hockey players have no clue what that is.
No.
But Youth Gone Wild would be great.
Yeah, we just need like Lil Wayne to do a remix of it, and then it'd be all over it.
Yeah.
Well, I think no, that's even too old. It's probably like Lil Uzi Vert or Lil Baby.
whatever.
Or,
Chance the Rapper, Chicago.
I mean, I was gonna say we should go with something by Chance. Or
You can't play
Kanye
hip hop at a
or
hockey
Common.
game. I'll never go again.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it'll definitely be
Whoops.
that crowd.
None of that
Darn
rap
it.
crap, my friends.
Let me paint a picture for what I would do. This next season is all about the Blackhawks rebuilding. It's going to be a tough season. Their goal is to have a chance to pick Connor Bedard or Matvei Michkov or Adam Fantilli, and each goal gets them further away from
He's going to say another brick in the wall.
So Far Away by Carole King. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Oh, that's nice.
But imagine this: you got a tight game, no score, late third period. You get Alex DeBrincat flying down the wing. He's got a 2-on-1 with Sam Lafferty. Ain't no way he's passing that puck. Snipes it, bar down, top corners. United Center goes crazy. The horn goes off, and then you hear, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Well, it might be an empty
Damn it,
building
we
too.
scored.
Yeah, there might not be a lot of fans there, so the Sounds of Silence will be.
We said it yesterday. How much fun would it be to play the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme after
yes.
every goal? Like, because we were thinking of like,
They should have their
each
visitor
player.
goals.
yeah.
That'd be funny.
Oh man.
No, there's a lot of good. I mean, obviously, you'd want something that has some audience participation or a sing along part. You can never go wrong with like a classic like Shout. Play the Otis. You can put Otis Day in the Nights on the big screen.
That
And
is
you get
it.
everybody do up and
That's a hit at every wedding.
yeah.
It just doesn't see. Well, the Hawks' new brass is so into the young and the youth now.
Yeah, because Four Horsemen just
youths.
screams youth.
I can't get over that.
No,
they
I
did
love
that.
it. I'm a huge
They
fan.
did that. I was like, yes, I want to get on the ice and play.
Right.
Because I was so fired up by that. Did anyone ever do an investigation as to why that's the song?
No.
I would love to find that out.
We need to get Kyle Davidson in here immediately.
Yeah.
I'll text them right now.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I think.
By the way, I was texting with a former Hawk yesterday. Might join us on the show next week.
Hey,
that
that's
sounds
cool.
Little
Tease.
Kelvin DeHaan action next week, potentially.
Former Hawk, quote unquote.
Former Hawk. He's
Soon
officially
to
a
be-
former Hawk.
Soon, not yet. I believe he's still under contract.
Oh.
I think that till July 1st, maybe. I don't know, but yes,
July
soon
thir-
to be former.
July 13th.
July 3rd.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually July 1st, I know.
Yeah,
Throws it
Calvin Hahn slid into my DMs yesterday unexpectedly with some thoughts on things. I'm like, well, I got you.
Yeah.
Why don't you jump on the podcast? Like, sounds good.
That'll be cool.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I were to realistically have a song.
Wait, Sounds of
for the
Silence
team.
wasn't realistic?
No, I was just getting a rise out of you guys. If I were to really have a song for the team, I think it would be something a little bit more youthful, a little bit more, something to connect with, the generation of fans that I think the team is really going to start going after is a lot of the younger crowd, and they social media, they've been changing up their strategies a little bit. We've been seeing, so I really do think, and I mentioned it before, Chance the Rapper. I think if you have a Chicago tie-in, you get something that younger fans can connect to. I really think Chance the Rapper with No Problems. Like I love that song. Whenever I'm like in the city and I listen to it, I'm like, yes, like I am in Chicago. I would put that up there.
I'd be okay with that. If we're doing
want no
Chicago,
problem.
then it should just be Jesus Built My Hot Rod by Ministry. Al Jorgensen, lead singer
Hell,
of Ministry.
yes.
Didn't
He's a diehard Hawks fan. I see him there all the
Oh, yeah.
time.
he wrote a Hawk song
Yeah, he
years
did.
ago, and
Yeah.
it was bad.
It was.
Oh my gosh, I saw him at Lala 92.
Oh, I saw him at Riot Fest like 3 years ago.
Oh,
and
wow.
whoo,
Keys
boy.
to the City.
Oh, I
It
remember
was
that
called.
song.
Yeah.
It wasn't
That
great.
was not good.
No,
It was
not
to be
great.
fair.
fair.
It was better than Prince's song that he made about the Vikings. Have you ever heard that?
Purple Rain.
No.
No.
Here's a good one from Skox. Cherub Rock. by the Pumpkins.
No,
yeah.
Billy Corgan sucks.
Yeah, but
Or not.
come on now. Pumpkins are a classic Chicago band.
I'd rather have Fall Out Boy.
Oh, no. Nightmare.
When I hear Cherubrock, I think of Ben Sheets. It was his walkout
Oh,
song.
that's
we
right.
definitely
For the Milwaukee
cannot.
Brewers.
We definitely cannot have
You
that.
order
then.
Kerry Wood on Wish.
It was Gary Wood Light. But no, Prince did a song, and I love Prince. Prince is one of my favorite artists of all time. Brokenhearted when he died, but he wrote
Happy
a song.
birthday, Prince, by the way.
Yes, it is. He wrote a song a few years back about the Vikings, and it's freaking awful. It's so bad. Look it up. I don't know what it's called, but it's like I felt embarrassed for him when I listened to it for the first time.
Vikings.
Speaking of Prince, I saw this morning, so I'll share the story. It was Fred Armisen, Bill Hader, and Seth Meyers on Howard Stern. And Fred Armisen tells this story about going to the SNL after party with Prince. And he's like, I was such a big Prince fanboy, so Prince had a mac and cheese bar at his party. Like that was like the after party thing was mac and cheese.
That's
awesome.
So Prince is at a table by himself eating mac and cheese. And Fred Armisen's like, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to go tell Prince how much I love him. And he's like, hey, Prince, I just want to let you know I think you're the greatest. And Prince's pause, he goes, you know what I think is the greatest? This mac and cheese. So great. It's just
Game.
so funny.
That is
Blouses.
fantastic.
And we had, oh man, back on the
That's
score,
fantastic.
we had the drummer of the Revolution on the show after Prince died. I cannot remember his name, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But the pancake basketball story is 100%
Oh, yeah.
true. Actually
Yes.
happened.
I,
Yeah,
I believe it. Yeah.
Prince's is such an because he's so
mysterious.
like enigmatic.
Yeah.
But then when you hear stories about him in real life, air quotes, he's just like a normal, like kind of funny, self-deprecating
Just like a,
dude.
yeah.
It's just I cannot get enough Prince stories. There's
I
the
love it.
Armisen one was great, and Fred Armisen was just like, should I be insulted
do
or
I,
hurt
yeah.
or like do I laugh? I don't know. Prince would be a hard person to talk to, I think.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't know if he's being funny or mysterious or like.
The people who, when you meet them for the first time, they have that like dry humor that you're kind of just like, are you joking or are you making fun of me? Like I don't know
Yes.
how to respond to you.
Because you've
Like,
got that nervous energy.
yeah.
And you're worried about how you're coming off, and then they make a joke, and you're like, it is the opposite of disarming.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's Anyway,
Purple
I saw
and
it this
Gold,
morning.
by the way, the Prince song
Yes.
about the Minnesota Vikings.
it's awful. So
I'll have to give it a listen. I can't
It's
say
like
I've heard it
something he
before.
produced like in his bathtub, like over the span of 5 minutes. Like there's no thought into it whatsoever.
Speaking of football songs, I think if we really just want to, make people happy, how about Super Bowl Shuffle after the goals?
Are they allowed to do that? Was another thing you can't play on radio. Can't
can't
play
play
Super
that?
Bowl Shuffle. The rights holders will sue you if you play it.
Oh my goodness!
Like
So you could talk about the writing of Super Bowl
you can
Shuffle,
talk
but
about
you
the Super Bowl
can't-
Shuffle,
you can't
but you can't play
it.
the
Play
Super Bowl
the Super
Shuffle.
Bowl Shuffle.
Radio's weird.
That was one of my. Well, that's not a radio thing. That was that's the musical rights
trademark,
holder
gotcha.
thing.
Yeah.
a
Ass
trademark
cap.
thing.
I can't stand ass cap.
Yeah,
problems.
they are such ass caps, aren't they?
Yeah,
It's
they
really
are.
the worst. All right, so we've solved nothing.
Yes. Jump
We're-
Around would be a fun song.
We're totally split on Chelsea Dagger as a
Jump
fandom.
around. Wait a minute. Jump around like as in the 90s
Yeah.
white guy hip hop
Yeah,
song?
they play it at Rockford Ice
It's-
House games. The crowd gets
It's
going.
the guy.
Everlast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everlast, yeah.
I realize, yeah.
I mean,
something
great
like
song
that,
in the
like
90s.
Seven Nation Army, like something that everybody agrees on.
Detroit. That's
But that's so
No.
overdone.
Yeah.
way overdone.
Yeah, that's a
Every
that's
college
a
football
that's
game
a soccer song. Yeah.
or college football, like Ohio
College
State.
football,
Yeah.
has it.
No, there's good stuff out there. You just,
Whoa, whoa.
How about
Yeah, right.
How about some Wilco? How about anyone wants
Sure,
some
I want to
Wilco?
cry.
Yeah,
no,
that sounds good.
only if it's Casino Queen.
that'd be
That song
nice.
does
'Cause that's-
slap,
that-
Yeah.
that's-
as the kids say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's.
You know, their new album just came out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take your word for that.
Another.
Sarah is our new producer.
Yeah.
And she's younger than all of us. Sarah, do you have any feedback on what song the Hawks should use or something that could be cool and hip for the youths?
I mean, I don't know. I like kind of the younger songs, and I mean, you were talking about Chance the Rapper, which I mean, he's all over the place in Chicago, and I know he's still so relevant, especially with my generation. So I think that's always a really strong pick. And I don't know, even just like, I don't know, like Post Malone or something.
Oh, I'm taking the mic away. Post Malone.
Like no.
Hey,
something
he
like
could get us
kind of
Doritos.
fun. He has some really great songs, and I don't know.
I think Post Malone
I agree with
is-
everyone else. Like I don't like the song they have now. It's just old, but that could just be my generation. I'm just
an
not
oldie.
used to hearing
Yeah, it's
it.
an oldie from 2010.
it's
All those
classic
old
rock
guys
now.
I
from
was 10 years
2010.
Put it
old
on
at
the
the
drive.
time,
See?
and so,
That's it. That's-
yeah, it's
she's-
just I was too young to even really care about
Right.
it, and so I feel like my younger generation just wants something more kind of relevant and upbeat and fun, and I mean, people were talking about in the comments too. I mean, it's just a different Blackhawks team now, so it's kind of you need to start rebranding, and
Yeah.
maybe I don't know, motivate them to do better.
Well, here's the thing, though. Do you cater to the young generation, the 20-somethings, the teenagers, or do you cater to the 30-somethings that actually have the money to buy tickets with?
I think you cater to the generation on the ice.
Yeah, I think
that makes perfect
I
sense
think
to
you-
me.
That's what I think you do.
Let the players pick the damn song.
Yeah.
Which
I'm-
means
I'm-
my ultimate pick of "And the Cradle Will Rock" by Van Halen is not an option, which is very sad for me.
unfortunately.
Now, Sarah just also said, and now you can't see this, but Sarah's wearing a Rolling Stones sweatshirt, so
Oh,
she
nice.
suggested the
That's-
Stones,
that's-
which tells you that what are the kids
Name
now?
one song. I don't actually care. I'm kidding. But it's funny. My daughter's best friend wears a Nirvana shirt all the time. I'm like, do you like Nirvana? She's like, I liked the shirt.
Ah,
And I bought the shirt, and then the shirt led me to the music, and Nirvana's awesome. I'm like,
Okay, I
that's
can
great.
appreciate
That's
that.
awesome.
I'm glad that story took a
Anytime
took a
I
good
see
turn.
somebody
Yeah,
under the
I-
age of
that's
50
not where I
wearing a
thought that was
Misfits
going.
shirt, I cringe. But like, if you bought that at Spencer's because you like the skull, I'm gonna punch a 12-year-old in the side of the head.
We cannot advocate punching
I
12-year-olds
said I
on the
want to.
side
I'm
of the
not
head.
going to.
All right, good.
What's
Just, I have visions of doing it.
what Nirvana shirt was it?
It was the
Smiley
like the
face?
drunken smiley
Smiley
face.
face.
Good
Okay.
shirt.
And I think she
I
has
own
that
the original
classic one.
version of that.
nice.
It had the album listing, the song track listing of Bleach on the back.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think she has it in several different patterns too. Like she's got the black with the yellow, and she's got a white with a tie dye. Yeah, it's cool. I think that's a cool story.
That is, yeah.
That she has been led to their music by the shirt.
I'm-
And like
I'm
how many
for that,
like
yeah.
when I was young, I would buy CDs or much younger records sometimes based on the album art. Like if I'm on the fence, like I got $15. Which one am I going to get? The one with the cool album art.
Well, yeah, of
you
course
judge it by its cover.
It's a lost. It's
Columbia
a lost art.
House. You'd flip through that little
Yeah.
magazine they sent you every
No,
month.
it's a lost art. The album cover. It's
I still owe Columbia House a lot of money.
yeah. I still own like 9 cents.
I was more of a BMG guy myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
That was the one that was
anti-establishment.
Like, well, no, that was the one that was like 10 for a penny. I think Columbia House you had to like buy 6 and then you'd get 12 or something like that. I don't know. There was a different.
Yeah, but then you
Honestly, I did both. I don't know what I'm talking about.
it was like 11 CDs for a penny. But then weren't you obligated to buy a certain amount of CDs per month or something at full
Yeah.
price?
Yeah, they give you 11 for a penny, and then you had to buy them at like $18 a pop
Yeah,
for
right.
the next 38 years.
Yeah.
they had a couple, $12.99ers, $11.99ers.
Sarah's just like,
Yeah. What do you?
what are these?
well,
old
let me
people
tell you
talking
guys about the iTunes store.
What is?
99 cents for a
What-
song.
What is a CD?
All right, let's
Yeah,
get
album
to
covers are now just JPEGs.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're running short on time, and we want to talk about the Western Conference champions, so let's do that. But first, want to remind you, if you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us continue to grow is to download that PointsBet app. It is so essential. Use that code CHGO when you sign up. You're going to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. But if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you're also going to receive a free CHGO membership that unlocks all of our great web content. You get access to our Discord, and you'll get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker, and they are all awesome. I think I have 4 CHGO shirts already. I need to get a couple more. There's
Get 3.
I want to get all of them because they're all great.
have 4.
You should too. Actually, we have 5 in our house.
Nice.
So yeah, they're just awesome shirts. Dope merch, as the kids say.
Dope.
So make sure you jump on that offer, and if you have any questions, email pointsbet@allchgo.com. We'll get you squared away. And in case you missed it, online sign up is available now in Illinois. Download the PointsBet app right now. Register from start to finish, all from your phone. You'll be living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
I have one more song.
Okay.
Always gets the crowd going. Will always slap. as the kids say. Levels by Avicii.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one. Still don't know it.
It's
I got nothing.
I mean, I
Whatever,
feel like
let's
it's more
talk about the
Boston.
playoffs.
See, there's obviously a generational gap right in here that's separated.
Yeah.
I bet you Sarah knows what you're
I've
talking
heard
about.
of Avicii. It's got 2 I's in the end. AVICII, right?
A lot of
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
There's a lot of
Like
eyes
that.
in there, yeah.
It's too many I's.
He's he passed away.
away,
a couple
yeah.
years
That's the guy
ago,
that
yeah.
died,
He was a
young a few years.
huge,
Yeah.
huge international.
I know.
DJ.
I'm aware
Yeah.
of him. I just don't know the song.
What was the song that they played with about like 6 minutes to go when they went to that last break, and there was the guy would dance in the aisle? That Boston related.
Oh, yeah,
That's
shipping up to
Shipping Up to
Boston.
Boston.
Oh yeah, which of course we
Another
can't play
played
that.
out song?
No.
But like,
Yeah.
why did that become a thing? I loved that guy.
It's
think
a
he
song
started-
everyone
dancer.
just likes. It's like dun-dun-dun. It's
But
a song everyone knows.
That guy started dancing randomly when it would come on. Like, he took it upon himself, from what I understand. And then the Hawks were like, well, this is kind of interesting. And the crowd always reacts. So they made sure they would do it every game and put him on camera.
Yeah.
It only lasted a season or two.
Wait, dance cams are staged?
I actually hung out. I used to frequent the bar that guy worked at, and he thought he was like a celebrity. And I'm like, no, you're just a clown that dances for nothing.
Yeah.
a
You know who
bicycle
I am,
for me.
honey? I'm that guy who dances the shipping up to Boston and Hawks games.
I'm the jig douche. That's
hello,
what we
police.
called him.
Hey, by the way, No is just behind here.
Got
we're catching
update
up.
on the votes?
It's 50.3 to 49.7.
Wow.
Yes, still barely.
So we truly are a
I'm
nation
sorry.
divided.
It's
Now
crazy.
it just changed again. It's 50.2.
Oh my
We're up
god.
to 979 votes.
Wow.
Well, we've got 9 more hours to vote, so tomorrow
after
we'll have
everyone.
the final results, and I am fascinated by what these will be. But if you've got ideas, hit us up in the chat or reply to the tweet, and we'll try to get some. I don't know if we're going to solve this problem. It's probably not even a problem, to
Yeah,
be
I wouldn't
honest
call
with
it
you.
a problem. It's
But
a fun off-season topic.
it is a
Once
perfect-
we solve this, then we'll go with healthcare and then
World Hunger.
world hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get all the major
Chelsea Dagger
problems
first,
fixed.
gun control second.
No, you can't do that. I gotta leave that one alone. Just need better doors.
Yes.
Anyway,
Okay.
Another Jim Morrison reference. 2 in 1.
Yeah, exactly.
2 in 1
The better
podcast.
All right, so we have a Western Conference champion. The Avalanche sweep the Oilers in very painful fashion. The overtime
for
winner
real.
for Colorado was a borderline high stick. Review Don Koharski said, "Oh shit!" on the air. It was so close.
That was great.
Oh,
and
man.
it was
that was
better than the goal.
that was amazing. And how about
fantastic.
I think that was one of those where
have another donut?
wherever the
Co-host.
call was on the ice, it wasn't getting overturned.
No, yeah.
It was so close.
It was-
yeah.
Had they waved it off, they would.
And you know what? That's how it should be.
Exactly.
I agree.
If you can't,
Conclusive evidence.
if
There
you
was
can't
no-
say
yeah.
one way or the other, you
leave
stick
it
with the
at-
call.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, Colorado was winning that game. Even if they said no goal, let's play, they would have won it 30 seconds later because Mike Smith would have Mike Smith.
Well, by the way, with Mike Smith, I tweeted this out, but by now, can we stop slamming the stick every time you give up a goal? You're 40 freaking years old or whatever it is. Stop acting like a child.
This is why I love watching him lose because he's
God.
a freaking baby.
Like, what's your deal, dude? Like,
mean,
you should be
it's-
used to giving up goals by now. You kind of suck.
Yeah, you've
You shipped 8 in game 1, 9 against
Right.
Calgary in game
Yeah,
1.
like, dude, like, yeah, it. But I love it because I love being able to rail on him on Twitter. I'm one of those sickos that you posted that comic. I love it, because it's
The Mike Smith meltdown.
It's
it
a it's a
comes.
rite
It-
of
it-
passage.
Yeah.
It happens every spring. Like
You can-
spring,
you can count on it.
Summer is here. Mike Smith has filled his diaper.
The
in a
cherry
playoff game.
blossoms.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Allergies.
You know it's
The
coming.
birds have the swallows
Smith.
have returned, and Mike Smith has peed down his leg.
It was interesting. Colorado, they're down in that game, and in the third period,
3-1 at one
it just felt like they said, you know what, I'm kind of done with this series. Let's win
Let's be
It
this.
was
done
very
with this.
2013 hawkish.
Yeah, like let's go home instead.
Mm-hmm.
And man, they're such a good freaking team. And I texted you guys last night. My cousin randomly texted me like, "Is Nathan McKinnon as good as Connor McDavid?" And the answer is no, but he's on that level.
But it's close.
And I'm really glad Nathan McKinnon is going to get the Stanley Cup final because that's a dude that should be a household name.
Yeah.
He is one of the most dynamic players I've ever seen, let alone in the league right now. He is so 0 to 60 in a blink, that guy.
Yeah.
And to get this Avalanche team that is so full of stars, so full of young stars on the stage, to see Cale Makar featured on network television. It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait. And whatever the final is, Rangers or Lightning.
Good luck, Rangers or Lightning.
Yeah.
You're gonna need it.
I mean,
Colorado will be favored.
They have lost 2 playoff games.
Hey, Lawrence, can you do me a favor? There's a guy in the chat, John Van, who says the Hawks will sign Mike Smith just to piss us off. Can you block and ban him?
Oh gosh.
Can you get him out of here?
Come on, John. Don't make that out there.
Yeah.
Don't
Just
put that
kidding,
name.
John. But let's not.
Let's not put that energy out there.
You got to make up for that one in tomorrow's episode.
I'd rather have former Hawks GM Mike Smith as the next year's goalie than actual Edmonton Mike Smith.
Because he could actually draft you a good goalie.
Yeah, there you go.
drafted Corey Crawford.
Yes, he did.
And Duncan Keith.
And then trade him to the Coyotes.
Such an odd dude, Mike Smith.
Yes, he was.
You talk about we were talking about Eric Nestorenko as a different kind of a dude. Mike Smith was just an odd, eccentric.
An odd duck.
I'll never forget that
He was
town
like the
hall
Jerry
meeting.
Angelo of hockey.
Yeah, kinda. Yes.
Those guys hung out together. There's no doubt.
Are you old enough to remember the town hall with Alpo Suhonen and Mike Smith?
Oh, that was right.
Oh
when
my
I,
God.
That was right when I got into hockey, and I was not that deep in it.
MC'd by Mike North, which what could possibly go wrong? You got Mike Smith who spent most of it like this. Yeah.
Not
And
interested.
that was Mike
Yeah.
Smith in his excited phase.
Right,
Like,
that was him on cocaine.
Yeah.
And then and then you had Alpo Suhonen, who was trying but was like clearly fighting a language barrier. It's a guy from Finland, and Mike North. Hey, what you think about the power play? And he's like,
neither one of those guys are speaking English.
Right, it was just like the most surreal thing I've ever experienced. I was there in person. It was the strangest hour and a half. It felt like 3 days of my life. And just like Mike Smith literally is just like leaning on the table. This is at the United Center. Fans are there. It's supposed to be this energetic thing to sell. He's like, yeah.
This would be like what, 2001? 2000?
Probably 05, 06.
Well, what year did Suhonen take over?
Suhonen was like in 2000, right?
So it was right before.
okay.
It was
Okay.
before he had coached the game,
Okay.
which is probably the best because after that was bad.
Yeah, no one wanted to talk to him after that.
Poor Alpo.
Yeah.
Named after dog food, and then this happened.
And then coached like dog food.
It was, 2000, 2001. He has not coached since in any way.
Really? It was his last
Wasn't
stop.
for him.
He was like, this is what I'm done.
I'm
done
going to
with
go
this.
back to my my dog food kingdom. That
I'm joining Aaron Nestorenko as a disc jockey.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm doing.
A lot
I'm
less pressure
Alpo.
there. But yeah, and quick shout out to our sister station, as they like to say in the business,
Yes.
DNVR.
Oh my God, the
DNVR.
bar was insane.
Yeah, they are.
I'm
rocking
surprised
it
it's
out
still
there.
standing this
They
morning.
are.
That's
If you
wild.
follow, if you need Avalanche coverage for the Stanley Cup final, make sure you're following the DNVR Sports crew. They are our counterparts in Denver. A lot of the same type of coverage. They got their own bar for the website there in Denver, and they do they just type in
it's-
DNVR on Twitter.
It's
and they'll show you the
fantastic, yeah.
videos of the watch party they had last night. They've been killing it with their coverage. Great job for those guys. So shout out. If I doubt any of them are awake after watching some of the videos, they're still sleeping last night off. So when you guys wake up and you hear this in 3 or 4 hours, congrats. And you got 4 more wins to go. And the fact that they were able to do this with their backup goaltender.
Yeah.
Essentially
Yeah.
for the entire series, nearly the entire series.
Well, now they got some time for Kemper to get back, but yeah.
But even if he
Francois
doesn't,
was great.
Yeah, even if he doesn't, you've got a reliable goalie.
Good
that you
enough.
could-
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't much of a drop off between the two. You could equal that they're a 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Francois, if it wasn't for injuries, they may have never signed Darcy Kemper because he was really good and then couldn't stay healthy. So,
Right.
congrats to everybody over at DNVR and all the Avalanche fans. And, I'm going to be pulling for them no matter who they play in the Cup final.
Me too.
Just because it has nothing to do with the fact that my paychecks originate from the city of Denver. But that doesn't hurt.
No, it certainly doesn't hurt.
They're a
And,
fun team.
They deserve
They're
to
a fun
win it.
team.
I mean, they are the best team. They
When
look
you-
like the
yeah.
2013 Hawks.
I picked them to win the Cup at the beginning of the year, so they
Yeah.
will make me look smart for once in my life.
When you have the opportunity to have the most talented team in the Cup final with players that, like you said, like should become household names on this stage, the Avalanche are exactly that team that you want.
And just a reminder to Hawks fans, like, it was a long road for Colorado.
6 years.
There was a long time where they were one of the worst teams ever. and it took time to build, and they were patient. I feel like Gabriel Landeskog has been on the Avalanche for 25 years, right? Like, it takes time. It takes patience. You've got to let prospects develop. You've got to live with the growing pains, and hopefully Kyle Davidson takes a note from what they're doing in Colorado and uses that as a model, because that's a team with very few flaws.
2017 draft was Cale Makar, correct, for them?
I believe that's correct.
4th overall pick, something like that. So that 16-17 season was awful.
2017.
The 16-17 season was awful for the Avalanche. And they've had trips to the playoffs, but it hasn't gotten this far. But yeah, I mean, you look at that, that's six seasons to get to this point.
But they struggle because what, Nathan McKinnon, number 1 overall pick, was he not?
I believe so, yeah.
So you got to be bad to get that pick. That's what they tell me.
And he was 2014, I want to say.
So I mean, he was the number 1 overall pick. Cale Makar was a top 5 pick. Byron Boehm, top 5 pick.
2013 for
2013.
McKinnon.
Yeah. 13.
So
okay.
You gotta be really bad if you want to be really good again.
There's years
if you want
of
to do it the right way.
There's years of badness that will need to happen for
Embrace the badness.
Hey, I remember
We
2003
don't have
for
a
the
choice.
Hawks. I mean, like, the Hawks were really, really bad back in the early 2000s.
2000 what?
2000 anything in that, like.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
guess what?
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
Full circle, baby. Here we are again.
We can all hope it'll be 3 years, but
Yes. No. That would be a
it's-
miracle.
As they say in Ted Lasso, it's the hope that kills you.
That's right. All right, we got to wrap things up. We're running a little bit late here, so thanks to everybody for tuning in. I know this was we had a fun show with a ton to get to, and I'm glad we were able to get to all of it. Reminder, you want to become a member at allchgo.com. You're going to get access to all of our great written content. You're going to get access to our Discord, all of our post-game shows, all of our podcasts, of course, everything. You're going to get a free T-shirt from our merch shop, the CHGO Locker. There are so many reasons. I don't know what that was. There are so many getting verklempt. There are so many reasons to join allchgo.com. It is ad-free. It is beautiful. There is fresh content every day from every team in town. If you're a Chicago sports fan, it is the biggest no-brainer investment you'll ever make. And quite frankly, it helps us grow, and we appreciate that as well. So become a member at allchgo.com, and we would greatly appreciate it. So a couple programming notes. Tomorrow we're going to do our evaluations. We'll have a post-show meeting to discuss who we're going to evaluate. Thursday's Throwback Thursday. We've got the 2010 Cup run, the playoff Cup run. Friday, we're going to talk to Tariq Al-Bashir from The Athletic about Todd Reardon and his time in D.C. and a whole bunch more. So a big bunch of shows coming up for the rest of the week. Join us at 11 a.m. Wednesday and Thursday. Friday will be audio only, but should post right around 12:30. So with that, we want to thank Lawrence and Sarah for producing the show. For Greg and Mario, I'm Jay. This has been the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.